Hello friends, welcome back. Today I am going to be doing a full face of my top best Maybelline makeup products. If you do enjoy full face of like my top favorites from a brand, let me know down in the comments or give this video a thumbs up so I can do this with some of my other favorite drugstore makeup brands. So the first product that I'm going to talk about, and I did swap the little dropper for this pump, which I got off of Amazon. So I'll have this pump listed down below, but this pump comes in so handy. It also locks. This Superstay 24-hour skin tint is one of my very favorite foundations from Maybelline. I don't really use this one in the summer months too much just because I live in a more humid climate and my skin does tend to get a bit greasy or at least oily looking in the summer. And this is a very illuminating foundation. It's very runny, as you can see there. I do feel like this is one of the areas that Maybelline shines in is their complexion products. They have several really good foundations. It's been a while since I've used like their the Fit Me Matte and like the Fit Me Dewy. I forget if that's exactly what they're called, but one is like the dewy version and the other one is the matte. But I used to love the dewy one back in like 2014 or 2015 when they first came out with that foundation. And I know that the matte one is, I think it was like matte and poreless or something like that. I know that a lot of people still really love that one. But I just find that like the Superstay 24-hour skin tint is even better than the dewy one, than the Fit Me Dewy. When it comes to like a matte foundation from Maybelline that I like to use, and this is the one that I reach for in like the summer, springtime, and Maybelline came out with this foundation this year, but this is their Superstay Lumi Matte Foundation. I need to like shake this one up because it's been a minute since I've used it, but I love this one. It's also a really like runny kind of liquidy type of formula, and it's a light to, I would say, medium coverage foundation. I think the lasting power is really good. It has a matte finish, but it's not like too overly matte. It works really well over top of, you know, different primers, especially like illuminating primers if you want to give it a little bit of like a luminous glow. When it comes to primers, my favorite Maybelline primer is their Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup. This is just going to give you like a light luminous glow, and I love this paired with the Lumi Matte. It just gives it like the right amount of glow. But yeah, if you kind of want an all-in-one, the Superstay 24-hour skin tint is going to give you the glow and the lasting power. So, and this foundation is more of a light to medium coverage. Those are kind of like my top favorites primer and foundation products. I guess really like the only other thing that's not really a foundation, but it's more of like a skin tint type of product, which it's funny because this is called skin tint, but I would consider this more of a medium coverage foundation, but their Dream BB Fresh. This is my go-to product in the summer if I want something very lightweight. I love that this also has SPF 30 in it. So yeah, if I'm doing like a barely there or like a no makeup look or like the clean girl makeup look, this is the product that I like to use. The coverage is very light on this, but I do feel like it evens out the skin tone. So this is my favorite barely there product to wear. For concealers, Maybelline has like a few, like their instant, that was Salem. I don't know if you can hear him outside my door. But they have their Instant Age Rewind Eraser Concealer, and I know so many people love that one. It's not really my favorite. And also like their Fit Me concealer. I used to really love that in my 20s and early 30s, but I feel like now when I use it, it really settles into like my fine lines. It doesn't give me the coverage that I want. So those two concealers are not my favorite from Maybelline. I know that they also make like a stick concealer, like old school that they've had since like the 90s or maybe even the 80s. That's also not a fave. That one is better for like covering blemishes on the face. But my favorite concealer from Maybelline is their Superstay Activewear. I will say that I do have like a love-hate relationship with this. If I have really dark under eye circles, I find that it doesn't do the best at covering those. This is more of like a lightweight concealer. It doesn't settle into fine lines. Like it will last until you take your makeup off at the end of the day, but it's not like a very full coverage concealer. It's a very thin formula. So this is better for days when I don't have like super dark under eye circles and just want more light coverage. I do find that I can use more of this product, and like I said, it doesn't settle into fine lines or wrinkles. I will have like the shades of everything that I'm using listed down in the description box. But yeah, I would say that that's probably an area where Maybelline is kind of lacking, is their concealers, which I know that some people would disagree with me on that, but I just, like I said, I don't really care for their other concealers, and this isn't the best full coverage. Like I don't feel like they have a good full coverage long wearing concealer. My two top best favorite setting powders, the Maybelline Fit Me, the loose setting powder. This is in the shade Fair. This is such a great setting powder to brighten. So I usually use this powder to set the under eye or anywhere on the face where I want to brighten or lighten. So I'll take my makeup sponge, get it there in the powder, like put some there in the lid, and then I'll just kind of do this to kind of work it into the sponge. And then I will use this to set the under eye concealer. And I hope that you can see how that brightens that eye up a little bit there, the under eye. So this is a really great powder, like if you like to bake. I don't really bake very much, like with my makeup, but this is a really great powder for that. Like an all over setting powder, this Superstay Hybrid powder foundation. Just got a little bit on there, and I'm gonna lightly set this foundation with this powder, and this is gonna add just a little bit more coverage, but this product is also really good for just a powder foundation. So if I ever want another like kind of more lightweight sort of look, this is really good. And sometimes I like to pair this with like the Dream Fresh BB cream to add just like a little bit more coverage. But yeah, it's a very good powder. Really like this one. For brows, this should not come as a surprise if you watch my channel regularly, but the Build-A-Brow from Maybelline is my all-time favorite brow product. I just think that this is a really great brow pen. I love the fact that it has the gel on the other side here, so it's just like all in one. So I'll first go in with the gel, brush my brows up, and then go in with the pen. And the pen will last all day long until I take my makeup off, so it doesn't smudge or anything. I just love how you can create natural brow hair strokes. So I just think this is an amazing product, amazing brow product. And I don't really feel like any other accessible drugstore brands like Revlon, CoverGirl, Wet n Wild, you know, any of those, I don't think any of them have a brow pen that is like this. Or do any of them have brow pens? I don't believe so. I just really like this one. And I feel like Maybelline came out with this brow pen before a lot of other high-end brands came out with theirs. So, I mean, I do think that like Urban Decay was the first one to make kind of like a brow pen type of product. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I just think this is a really great product for creating natural brow hairs. The other like brow product that I like from Maybelline is their Super Lock Brow Gel. And I normally just use the clear one mostly, but I do also like their tinted version that they came out with a little bit later this year. So I think that was another great product that Maybelline came out with. I guess it was last year that they came out with this Build-A-Brow and with the brow lock. For eyeshadows, I do have several products that I really love from Maybelline. I do think this is one area though where they could make some improvements and also just come out with some newer type of eyeshadow products. I know that eyeshadow is kind of not the biggest thing right now in the makeup industry, but I really wish that makeup brands would bring back good eyeshadow palettes. Like, I'm here for it, and I know a lot of you guys are as well. But probably my most used Maybelline eyeshadow is one of their singles in Nude Glow. As you can see, like, I've really loved this eyeshadow. I like a couple others in this line, so I thought I would share those shades. But this is a really pretty rose gold eyeshadow. And if I have used any of these eyeshadow products in other videos, like where I've done specific tutorials with them, I will have those videos linked down in the description box. But this is a really good one, a great everyday one and done eyeshadow. I've used this so much here on my channel. Another good one and done shadow is this one here, and this is in the Glow Down, which it's more of like a gold, champagne gold eyeshadow, which is really pretty. Like, the formula and the finish is very similar to Nude Glow. So I really like this one. And then the last one from that line that I use as a one and done shadow is this one in Sterling Greige, which it's like a taupe shadow. And this one is really pretty. It has like little glitters in it. It's really gorgeous. Like, I'm just gonna swatch all these on the back of my hand so you guys can see what they look like swatched. Okay, so this top one here is Sterling Greige. Or is that right? Or is it beige? No, it's greige. Sterling Greige. So I hope you can see like the little sparkles in that. I don't know if it's really picking up on camera. Then we have the Glow Down, which is more of like that champagne gold. And then Nude Glow, which is that rose gold color. So those are definitely like my go-to one and done everyday shadows from Maybelline. I think those are really great products. The City Mini palettes, these two are my most used from that line. This one here in Rooftop Bronzes, which is more like bronzy colors. And then this one over here is Chill Brunch Neutrals, which is more cool toned. And I'm going to use one of these two palettes today. I just haven't decided which one of these I'm going to use. And then the last one, this is kind of an honorable mention because I don't think that Maybelline makes this anymore. But see, this is what we need. We need more of these like eyeshadow palettes to come back in our life. If you agree, let us know down in the comments. But this is their Nudes of New York palette. And this is such a nice palette. Like, you have some good shades in here that are good one and done colors, but you also have some good just mid-tone colors that are great crease shades. I don't know, you could just create like a full glam look with this palette. So I really like this. There are some places where you can still find this, so if I can find it online, I will link it, but just kind of honorable mention since it's not as easily accessible. But yeah, and then another thing that I feel like Maybelline is lacking when it comes to eye stuff is like a good eyeshadow primer. I know that they have like their color tattoos, and I used to really love those, but I don't know. I mean, they're still good products, but I don't like them as much as I used to, but they are good. I just don't reach for those products as much. But I'm just going to just put this all over the eyelid. And Maybelline does have like shadow pencils, like their color tattoo, like shadow sticks. I like those okay, but they're also just not like a super favorite product from Maybelline. So I think today I'm gonna use the Chill Brunch Neutrals. I want to do more of like a cool toned makeup look, just because I know that for the most part, I've been doing a lot of warm tone looks, and not a lot of people do cool tone looks here on YouTube. So I wanted to do a cool tone look. So we're gonna use Chill Brunch Neutrals. I'm first gonna use this Morphe M332 brush, and I'm gonna go in with this matte, kind of taupey purple shade here. And I'm just gonna blend this here in the crease. So as you can see, like, it blends out really easily. You do have to be careful because it can have fallout. So that is like the only thing. about these City Mini palettes. You do have to be very careful about that because the shadows are pretty powdery. So just make sure you tap your brush off really well, or you could do your shadow before you do like your foundation and base products. But yeah, my one shade right here, I did drop this palette and it shattered that cream. So I'm taking some more of that shade on a pencil brush. This is just the Sigma E30, and I'm gonna blend this here on the lower lash line. Just connect it with the crease shade. Then I'm gonna go in with this darkest purple color in the palette, and I'm gonna be using the Sigma E25 blending brush. Make sure you tap the shade off really, really well. And then I'm just gonna use little circular motions to blend this in the crease, or in the outer V. And then I'm just going back with that pencil brush with some more of that dark purple, and I'm going to smudge it here on the lower lash line. And I'm just gonna take it over as far as I took it here on the upper lash line. And then I'm going back with the blending brush, nothing added to it, and I'm just gonna lightly blend around the edge of that dark shade. Then I'm taking this e.l.f. defining eye brush, and I'm gonna go in with the matte cream, what little bit I have left of it, and I'm gonna brush this here on my brow bone. Then on the eyelid, I'm gonna go in with this gray, kind of silvery color. And I'm just using an eyeshadow sponge. I got this from Amazon, so I will have that link down below. Just got like a big pack of them for pretty cheap. And you could also use your finger to apply that shade. But this little sponge kind of acts like a finger, so, and I can be just like a little bit more precise, at least with the placement at first, and then I will go with like my finger with some of that shade on there and just kind of touch it up. So I hope you can see all the little sparkles in that shade. It's so pretty. And then I'm just going back with some more of that matte cream shade, and I'm gonna brush it here in the inner corner. It is a very pigmented color, so just be a little careful with it. Got a little bit too much there in the inner corner, so I'm just gonna go back with like a Q-tip, just make sure it's blended. You guys know I'm so tempted to go in with my Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette. I just really like the highlight shade in that one, the Walking on Eggshells. I just think it would look better in the inner corner than the cream white. It's just too matte looking. I don't know. So I know this isn't Maybelline, but I'm just gonna go in with the matte cream out of Walking on Eggshells. Well, it's not matte, but the shimmery cream, I should say. I just think this will look better in the inner corner here. Yeah, see how this just looks better than this eye? I don't know. I just cannot do an eyeshadow look without this in the inner corner. And I know that Maybelline does make some decent like pencil liners. I guess maybe their gel liner. I used to love their Studio gel liners, but honestly, I don't really use a lot of liners in general anymore. And if I do use liquid liners, it's normally my Physicians Formula Eye Booster pen that I use. So I don't really have like a Maybelline eyeliner to recommend, or that's a top favorite. And also another area where I feel like Maybelline is really lacking is their blushes, which is just crazy because blush is such a big thing, or it has been like probably over the past 3 or 4 years. I know that they do have like these cheek paint things. I can't remember what they're called. I'll pop them up on screen. They have those and like the sun-kissed highlighter blush things. I haven't used either one of those products, so they might be really good, but I'm not really big on liquid blushes. I do have quite a few in my collection, but I never seem to reach for them as much as I do powder blushes. So Maybelline is very lacking in their powder blush line. And the only powder blush that I have from Maybelline is this one here. And this is from their Fit Me line, and this is in the shade Plum. And I wouldn't say that this is a favorite blush. Like, it's not super intense, but if you are looking for a good cool toned blush, this is very cool toned. I might just use this today, but I wouldn't consider this to be a top favorite or best product from Maybelline. So Maybelline, if you are watching this video, please start working on good powder blushes because you're very lacking in that department. So I'm going to be using the Morphe M241 to apply this blush. And another area where I feel like Maybelline is lacking is in their highlighters. And I know that highlights aren't really that big like they were in, I don't know, from like what, 2015 to about like 2019. And I feel like after the pandemic, they slowly just weren't as popular. But like, as you can see, this blush color in Plum, it is pretty. But I don't know. It's just, I feel like this Maybelline Fit Me line with the blushes, it's not anything spectacular. But if you are looking for a cool tone blush, this is a good one. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I know that they have like their Master Studio highlights. They just never really had like the perfect shade for me in that line, and they just don't really have a lot of options. So they also need to work on their highlighters. A bronzer product though from Maybelline that I absolutely love, and it's one of my very favorite bronzers, is their City Bronzer. This is in the shade 100, and this is my favorite bronzer for, or one of my favorite bronzers for like fall, winter, spring, like when I don't have much of a tan. This is my favorite, one of my favorite bronzers, just because it's not too like orangey. It's a good neutral bronzer. It's not too dark. It is completely matte. So really like this product. Which I used to love the Maybelline Dream Bouncy blushes. Do you guys remember those? Those were some of my favorite blushes from the drugstore. I used to love the one that was called Coffee Cake. It was my favorite. And also another throwback. Do you guys remember when Maybelline used to make nail polishes? Like, I still have a Maybelline nail polish. Let me shake it up. And it's still good, but this is their Salon Expert nail polish. Does this bring back any memories for you guys? But I love this color. This was in the shade Cutie Pink. I am going to go ahead and mist my face with a setting spray just because I personally always like to use a setting spray just to lock on the makeup, tone down any powders. And I think that Maybelline does make a setting spray from like their Master Studio line. I wouldn't say that it's anything better than any other setting spray out there. I don't have that one in my collection, but I'm just going to be using this Scandinavia makeup finishing spray. This is the bridal one, and this is just like one of my all-time favorite makeup setting sprays. So I would say probably one of the things that Maybelline is most known for are their mascaras. Like, Maybelline really makes some amazing mascaras at the drugstore. My two go-to favorite, like holy grail mascaras is their Lash Sensational Mascara. This is just my everyday favorite. You guys probably know that because I use it so much in my videos. Another favorite mascara from Maybelline is their Sky High Lash Sensational. And I really like their shade in True Brown for a good brown mascara. So if you like brown mascaras and you have a hard time finding like a good one, like a good true brown color that's not, you know, so dark that it ends up looking black, I think that one in True Brown is really good. And I also just like how they have the different colored mascaras in that line, like how they have the burgundy one. I've used like their burgundy one, which ends up kind of looking like a brown, but they're still fun. And the blue one is really pretty, like it really shows up nicely. I do really like that line of mascaras. I also have their Colossal Bubble Mascara, which is the favorite of a lot of people right now. Like, I know it kind of blew up on TikTok, but that mascara is okay. I wouldn't say that I like it better than this Lash Sensational, just like this classic one. And I find with this Lash Sensational, I don't have issues with it like smudging on the lower lash line. So I do enjoy using this on my lower lashes. And I don't normally have issues with this flaking. If this starts to flake on me, I know it's like time to get a new one. What is your favorite Maybelline mascara? Do you love Maybelline mascaras as much as I do? Let us know in the comments. And also just let us know in the comments, like, what are your top favorite Maybelline makeup products? One of my very favorite cool toned lip liners of all time is this one from their Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner line, and this is in the color Gone Greige. So I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lips with this, and also just kind of like fill my lips in with this product as well. So I think that this color pairs really nicely like with the blush that I used and the eyeshadow. But this lip liner does last for a long time if you just use it on its own. Of course, if you pair it with like a gloss, it's not gonna last as long. But I hope you can see how this is like a nice cool toned color. And I'm gonna use, this is my favorite lifter gloss from Maybelline, but this is in the shade Moon. I think that this is such a pretty gloss that tops really nicely over a lot of lip liners and lip products. But I think these two paired together is such a nice combo. So see, I think that looks so beautiful with this eye look and the blush. So if you're looking for a good cool toned lip combo, these two products are really good. And then I'm gonna take this off and show you guys some others, and then I'll figure out also like what I wanna wear today for my lip product. Their vinyl inks are probably the most used lip product from Maybelline. Like, I just love so many shades. I almost have every single shade that Maybelline makes in this product. It's just my favorite go-to. And I want to show you guys like a cool tones, like my favorite cool tones lip and my favorite warm toned, like everyday lip colors. And both will pair really nicely with this look. But I'm going to first go in with the shade Witty, which is the cool toned one. But you do want to make sure you shake this up really well just because it's got like an oil in it and it can kind of separate. So as you can see, this is a really pretty cool toned mauve pink color. And with these vinyl inks, they feel really liquidy at first, but if you give it about 5 to 10 minutes to like dry down on the lips, it's gonna keep that shine. It's gonna get a little bit tacky on the lips, but it's gonna lock on and it's gonna stay on there for hours and hours until you eat something that's gonna be kind of oil based to break the product off your lips. And these are a bit hard to get off sometimes, so I usually will put either coconut oil or Vaseline on my lips, like once they dry down, if it's like the end of the day and I'm trying to get my makeup off. So just keep that in mind. It's kind of the same thing with their matte inks. They can be kind of hard to remove once they dry down. Okay, so this is in the shade Peppy, which is a warm toned nude. So here is Peppy, and this one is my most used nude from this line. Like, this is the second one that I've purchased. I've actually used one of these completely up and had to purchase a new one. So I really love this one for just like an everyday warm nude lipstick. So just let me know in the comments which one you liked better, this one or Witty. And then I honestly have so many other favorite Maybelline lip products, but I'm probably not gonna go in and do combos of all of them because we would be here forever. Maybe that could be like another video I could film sometime, like my favorite Maybelline lipstick combos or something like that, Don't really know exactly what I would call it, but their Superstay crayon or ink crayons are really good. These are long wearing matte products. I just don't think that Maybelline makes a bad lip product. Their lifter liners are really good, very long wearing, just like the Color Sensational lip liners. These go on even more smooth, like they just glide on so easy, and I really like a lot of the shades in this line. Their Superstay matte inks are really good if you want like a long wearing matte lip product. These are also, like I was saying, they dry down tacky like the vinyl inks, but the vinyl inks are glossy, like a glossy finish, where these are a matte finish. And I have so many shades in those matte inks, even though I don't wear those as much, because I find that those can feel a little bit more drying on my lips than the vinyl inks. And then I have so many shades of the lifter glosses. That is probably my all-time favorite gloss from the drugstore, is the lifter glosses. Oh yeah. A classic is just like their Color Sensational lipsticks, and this shade in Crazy for Coffee is my most worn just like bullet lipstick from Maybelline. It's a good kind of brownish, like darker brownish nude. So pretty. They recently came out with their lifter glazes, and these are not super long wearing. They're more of just like a balm, like a tinted balm. But this shade here in Acai Glaze is a really beautiful, just burgundy, brownish berry color. But this is also another most worn product right now, especially in the fall. I just love throwing this on day to day. So I think this is a great product for Maybelline. So, oh, and the Teddy tints, these are also good. I only own this shade, which is in Current Mood, which is more of a peachy color, like a brown peachy shade. This also dries down to like a matte finish. It's a little bit more of like a soft matte finish than their matte inks. I don't know. I mean, I guess the finish is kind of similar. This just isn't quite as tacky. I mean, it's still tacky, but not as much as the matte inks, I feel like. I don't know. Something about this formula is slightly a little bit easier to work with than their matte inks, but this is a pretty like peachy nude. I know that they have some other darker shades in this, which I should get those and try those out. I know a lot of people love these, and these are really good long wearing products. I also think the packaging is super cute on these. So, but I'm gonna try to take this off because I feel like it's like dried down now. But I think my favorite combo with this was their lip liner in Gone Greige with Moon on top. Do you have some of the same favorites as me, or do you have some other favorites that I didn't mention? Let us know in the comments. But if you guys did enjoy this, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what other like one brand top favorite products you'd like to see next. Also, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but I am gonna be posting 3 videos a week again. So this is the first week that I'm starting this, and I think I'm going to post on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. So that is what I'm going to be doing right now with my posting schedule, but I will see you guys in, I guess, Thursday's video. And yeah, I hope that you all have a great day. Bye-bye.